Every stage of life is a form of cultivation. For the young, it is the cultivation of strength. For the adult, it is the cultivation of responsibility. And for the senior, it is the cultivation of wisdom. But with wisdom also comes a body that demands greater care. Many elders face a silent challenge, the gradual loss of muscle. It is not sudden, it does not announce itself, but slowly, day by day, the body becomes weaker. The question is not only about how long we live, but how well we live. Tonight I share with you a simple practice, something as natural as eating, that can protect the muscles, preserve strength, and allow seniors to walk their path with dignity and energy. Remember, small actions, taken daily, shape the body, the mind, and the future. From the moment we are born, our body is in constant change. Like the seasons of the year, each decade of our life has its own qualities, its own beauty, and its own challenges. In youth, the body is like spring, full of energy, flexible, resilient, muscles grow quickly, wounds heal fast, strength is easy to build. In adulthood, it is like summer, strong, productive, carrying responsibilities, pushing the body to work hard and endure. But with age, autumn and winter come, and just like the leaves fall from the trees, something very subtle begins to fall from the human body as well. For seniors, this invisible process is called muscle loss. In the scientific world, it is named sarcopenia, but let us not become lost in technical terms. Instead, let us understand the meaning. Sarcopenia is not the disease that arrives suddenly like a storm. It is more like a quiet wind blowing day by day, carrying away strength from the body without being noticed. You do not wake up one morning suddenly weaker. Instead, week after week, year after year, the body loses small amounts of muscle. Why does this happen? Nature itself gives us the answer. With age, the balance inside changes. Hormones that once supported growth and repair become less active. The signals that tell muscles to stay strong become weaker. At the same time, many people move less, exercise less, and sometimes eat less. The combination is dangerous. The body stops receiving the signals it needs to maintain strength, and the muscles slowly shrink. Imagine a tree that is no longer watered daily. At first, nothing seems different. The leaves are still green, the branches still full. But slowly, with less water, the roots weaken, the branches dry, and the tree loses its vitality. The same happens with the muscles of the human body. Without the right nutrition and without movement, the muscles become like dry branches. They no longer support the body in the same way. What are the consequences of this silent loss? At first, they may seem small. Climbing stairs feels a little harder. Carrying groceries feels more tiring. Getting out of a chair takes more effort. But as the process continues, the consequences grow heavier. Balance becomes unstable. The risk of falling increases. Bones become more vulnerable. And slowly, independence is taken away. Tasks that once felt simple, walking, bathing, cooking, can become obstacles. This is why silent muscle loss must not be ignored. It is not only a matter of appearance. It is not about looking strong in front of a mirror. It is about maintaining the ability to live fully with dignity and freedom. When a senior loses too much muscle, they lose not just strength, but also confidence, safety, and joy. Now the question arises, if this process is natural, can it be stopped? The truth is, we cannot stop time. We cannot ask the autumn to return to spring, but we can influence how the autumn feels. A tree in autumn can still be full of color, full of life if cared for. In the same way, even as the body ages, the decline of muscle can be slowed, delayed, even partially reversed, if we give the body what it needs. The body speaks through signals. It asks for movement. It asks for rest. It asks for nourishment. When we listen carefully, we can give it what it requires: to slow down muscle loss. Two things are essential: activity and nutrition. Movement is the natural language of the body. Muscles stay alive when they are used. They are like fire. If you do not feed the firewood, the flame goes out. If you do not move the muscles, they slowly fade away. Simple exercises like walking, climbing stairs, light resistance training, or even practicing Tai Chi can keep the muscles active. But movement alone is not enough. The second factor is nourishment. Muscles are made of protein, and if seniors do not consume enough high-quality protein, the body has nothing to build or repair with. Unfortunately, many older people eat less, either because of reduced appetite, dental issues, or simply habits. But eating less protein accelerates muscle loss. This is why nutrition, especially before sleep, becomes so important, because during sleep the body repairs itself. It rebuilds, it restores, and if there is no fuel, no protein available, the muscles cannot recover. Therefore, when we speak of eating before bed, we do not speak of indulgence, of heavy meals, or of satisfying late-night cravings. We speak of wisdom. We speak of giving the body what it needs for survival, for strength, for dignity. The silent muscle loss is like a thief that comes at night. If the door is left open, the thief takes away strength without resistance. But if the door is guarded by movement, guarded by proper nourishment, guarded by awareness, then the thief cannot enter so easily. For the senior who wishes to walk with energy, to stand with balance, to live with independence, the message is simple. Pay attention to the silent loss. Notice the small changes. Do not accept weakness as an inevitable destiny. Instead, take action. Move the body, nourish it wisely, and protect the strength that remains. In Shaolin teaching, there is a saying, 1,000 miles are walked step by step. A great temple is built brick by brick. The same applies to health. The prevention of muscle loss is not one great effort done once. It is the small daily practices, the right movement, the right food, the right awareness, repeated over and over. In this way, the silent loss can be slowed and life can remain strong, balanced, and meaningful even in the later seasons. The night is a mysterious teacher. It is in the darkness that the body finds light again. During the day, we move, we work, we think, we stress, energy is consumed, muscles are used, the mind is engaged. But when night falls, something very profound begins. The body does not simply shut down. It enters into a different kind of work, the work of repair. And this repair requires resources. Think of a craftsman repairing a house. He cannot rebuild the roof without wood. He cannot strengthen the walls without bricks. Even if he has the skill, without material, his work is empty. The same is true of the human body. During sleep, the body becomes the craftsman, repairing and rebuilding cells, organs, and muscles. But if there are no building materials, if there is no proper nutrition before rest, the repair remains incomplete. For seniors, this moment of repair is especially important. With age, the body no longer builds muscle as quickly as it once did. The signals to repair grow weaker. It is like trying to send a message through a line where the connection is fading. The body still hears the message, but not as clearly. That is why providing the right fuel at the right time becomes not just useful but essential. When we speak of nutrition before sleep, we must first understand the nature of sleep itself. Sleep is not simply the absence of activity. It is a dynamic process divided into stages. In deep sleep, growth hormone is released, which plays a vital role in muscle repair and regeneration. This hormone is like a silent guardian, working only in the shadows of night. But even the guardian cannot act without support. Growth hormone stimulates the body to repair, but without nutrients available. It is like a commander without an army. Protein is the most important material in this process. Muscles are built from protein, and without it, the body begins to consume itself. For a senior, this is dangerous because muscle is already declining. If no protein is present during the night, the body draws energy from existing muscle tissue, accelerating the very process we wish to prevent. Now, many people make the mistake of eating their largest meal in the middle of the day and going to bed with an empty stomach. For the young, this may not be a problem. Their bodies can still adapt and recover quickly. But for the elder, this practice leaves the body without materials at the most critical time, when the craftsman begins his work at night. That is why eating before bed, when done wisely, can transform the body's ability to maintain strength. It is not about eating much, but about eating right. A small serving of protein-rich food, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, almonds, or even a boiled egg gives the body what it needs to repair. It is like placing fresh bricks at the side of the craftsman before he begins his work. But the wisdom goes deeper. Not only protein matters, but also the nature of the meal. A heavy or greasy dinner burdens the body, forcing it to focus on digestion instead of repair. Sleep becomes restless, the stomach works when it should rest, and the craftsman inside cannot do his job properly. Nutrition before bed must be light, clean, and supportive, not overwhelming. Think of tea leaves placed in clear water. If the water is pure and warm, the leaves slowly open, releasing their essence. But if the water is murky and too hot, the tea becomes bitter, and its beauty is lost. The same is true for the body. When you give it pure, balanced nourishment before sleep, it gently unfolds its healing powers. But when you overload it with heavy food, you disturb the balance and turn the night into struggle instead of renewal. Another element to consider is timing. The body, like nature, follows rhythms. Eating too close to sleep leaves food undigested, while eating too early may leave the body without fuel later in the night. The wise path lies in balance. For most people, 1 to 2 hours before rest is ideal. This gives the body time to begin digestion and to prepare the nutrients for the repair that follows. Now let us reflect on the deeper meaning. Why do we emphasize this point so much? Because strength is not built in the moments of effort, it is built in the moments of recovery. A warrior may train all day, but if he does not rest, his sword grows dull and his body weakens. Likewise, the elder may try to walk, to exercise, to keep active, but without proper nourishment before sleep, the effort will not reach its full benefit. The training is the spark, but the recovery is the flame that sustains it. When seniors embrace the wisdom of night nutrition, they do more than protect their muscles, they also protect their mind. Studies show that balanced nutrition before rest supports brain health, stabilizes blood sugar, and even improves sleep quality. Then we know that sleep is not only for the body, but also for the spirit. A rested elder wakes with clarity, energy, and a peaceful heart. So the message is simple. Do not fear eating before sleep. Instead, fear neglecting the body's silent request for nourishment. Choose wisely, eat mindfully, and treat the night as sacred time for healing. With every evening, you are given a chance to rebuild what the day has taken away. In Shaolin, there is a teaching: the arrow that is drawn back with patience will fly with greater force. Night is the drawing back of the arrow. Nutrition before sleep is the strength of the bow, and the morning is when the arrow flies, carrying you into another day of life with energy and balance. In the temple, there is a saying: what you feed grows, what you neglect withers. This truth applies not only to the mind, but also to the body. Among all the nutrients that sustain human life, protein holds a special role. It is not just food, it is the very foundation of strength, the building block of muscle, the silent protector of independence in old age. For the senior, protein is no longer an option to consider, it is a necessity to preserve vitality. Why? Because with every passing year, the body loses some of its natural ability to use protein efficiently. In use, a small amount of protein is quickly turned into muscle and energy. But in the later stages of life, this process slows down. The body becomes less sensitive, less responsive, and so the need for high-quality protein becomes greater. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in fertile spring soil with rain and sunlight. Even a few seeds grow into strong plants. But if the soil has grown dry and hard with time, the same seeds do not grow so easily. More care is needed, more attention, better water and richer soil. The senior body is like that soil. It still has life, but it requires more nourishment to sustain growth. Proteins are made of amino acids, and these amino acids are like the individual soldiers that form the army of the body. Some of these soldiers can be created inside us, but others, the essential ones, must come from outside through food. Without these essential amino acids, the body cannot repair what is broken, cannot rebuild what is lost. And so, for the elder, choosing foods that contain all essential amino acids becomes a practice of self-respect. Where can these be found? In foods that carry complete protein: eggs, dairy products like yogurt and cottage cheese, lean meats, fish and plant-based combinations such as rice with beans or lentils with nuts. These foods are not simply fuel, they are the materials of strength, the threads that weave the fabric of the body. Now, some elders may say, I eat enough, I am not hungry for more. But the question is not hunger, the question is sufficiency. Hunger is a feeling. Sufficiency is a measure of what the body needs. Many seniors eat light meals, a piece of bread, a cup of tea, perhaps some fruit. But these meals, though comforting, do not provide the protein required to stop the slow disappearance of muscle. A body fed without protein is like a house repaired without nails. The surface looks fine, but the structure weakens silently. Let us reflect on timing once more. Protein taken before bed is especially powerful because that is the time when the body does most of its repair. A serving of cottage cheese, for example, is rich in casein, a protein that digests slowly and provides amino acids throughout the night. This is like leaving a lamp burning gently through the hours of darkness, ensuring that the body never falls into shortage while it is trying to heal. There is also the matter of balance. Protein alone cannot do the work without energy. If the craftsman has bricks, but no energy to move them, the house will remain unfinished. This is why pairing protein with a small amount of healthy fat or complex carbohydrate helps. A handful of nuts with yogurt or an egg with a slice of whole grain bread. These combinations support digestion, provide energy, and ensure that protein is used for repair rather than being burned for fuel. Another common misunderstanding is the fear of too much protein. Some seniors avoid it, worrying about burdening their body, but balance, not fear, should guide decisions. Moderate amounts of high-quality protein do not harm, they heal. It is not excess, but deficiency that poses the greater danger to aging muscles. In fact, modern wisdom aligns with ancient teaching here. It is better to provide slightly more than to allow slow starvation of the body's strength. Protein is not only for muscles, it supports the immune system, keeping the body resistant to illness. It aids in the healing of wounds, ensuring recovery from small injuries that otherwise take longer in older age. It even plays a role in maintaining mental clarity, because neurotransmitters, the messengers of the brain, are made from amino acids. So when we speak of protein power, we do not speak only of physical strength, we speak of total strength, body, mind, and spirit. Consider also the symbolic meaning. In martial tradition, the master feeds the student not only with words, but also with discipline, with exercises, with correction. Without this nourishment, the student cannot grow. Protein serves as such a master to the aging body guiding, supporting, teaching the muscles to endure even when time pushes against them. Now let us imagine two elders. One eats meals with little protein, bread, tea, a little fruit. Day by day, his muscles shrink. Walking becomes harder, balance falters. He may not notice at first, but in time, even rising from a chair is a struggle. The other elder, however, understands the power of protein. She includes yogurt before bed, eggs in the morning, lentils at midday, fish or chicken at night. Her muscles, though aging, remain strong enough to carry her with dignity. She continues to walk, to climb, to live without fear of falling. The difference is not fate. The difference is choice. So what is the teaching here? It is simple. Do not let your muscles starve in silence. Feed them, strengthen them, respect them. Every bite of protein is not just food. It is a message to your body saying, I still care for you. I still choose strength. In Shaolin wisdom, there is a phrase, the body is the temple of practice, and the temple must be maintained. For the elder, protein is one of the sacred offerings that keeps this temple standing strong. And when the temple is strong, the spirit inside is free to shine. In life, strength is not only gained by adding more, often it is preserved by knowing when enough is enough. Just as a warrior does not swing his sword without pause, but waits for the right moment, so too must we understand the rhythm of nourishment. The body thrives not only on what we feed it, but also on the balance of how, when, and in what form the energy is given. For seniors, this lesson carries great weight. The body, already more fragile, no longer tolerates extremes. Too much food at the wrong time can become a burden. Too little food leaves the body weak. The path of balance becomes the path of health. And nowhere is this balance more visible than in the meals taken before rest. Think of a fire. If you throw too much wood onto it at once, the flame struggles, smoke rises, and the fire cannot breathe. If you place no wood at all, the fire dies quietly. But if you feed the flame with small, steady pieces of wood, it burns clean, steady, and long into the night. The human body is the same. At night, when repair begins, it does not ask for a feast, nor does it ask for emptiness. It asks for balance. Enough energy to keep the flame alive, but not so much that the system becomes clouded. This is where many elders make mistakes. Out of habit, some eat nothing at all before sleep, believing it will keep the stomach light. Others eat heavy meals late in the evening, thinking it will comfort them into slumber. Both paths, however, disturb the natural harmony. Too little, and the body wakes weak, with muscles unfed. Too much, and the body spends the night in digestion instead of repair. The correct way is to find the middle path. A small, nutrient-dense meal before rest, light in quantity, rich in quality, gives the body exactly what it needs. Protein for repair, healthy fats for sustained energy, and small amounts of complex carbohydrates for gentle support. The goal is not fullness but nourishment. Balance of energy also means balance of type. There are foods that lift the body gently and there are foods that weigh it down. Fried, processed or sugary meals give the illusion of energy but leave the body restless and tired. In contrast, natural foods, yogurt, nuts, eggs, lentils, fruits give clean energy that does not disturb the night. One nourishes, the other drains, one supports repair, the other steals from it. Let us take the example of sugar. Many elders may reach for sweets at night, thinking a small dessert will bring comfort. But sugar is like a candle that burns too quickly. It flares with light, but soon leaves only darkness. The body receives a surge of energy, then collapses, often disturbing sleep. The craftsman inside, who is meant to rebuild the muscles, is interrupted, his tools scattered by the rush of sugar's flame. Now imagine instead a small bowl of Greek yogurt with a few almonds. This is not a burst of fire, but a steady lantern. The protein repairs, the fat sustains, the slow digesting nutrients keep the body working gently through the night. Balance is achieved, and the body wakes with strength instead of fatigue. But balance of energy is not only about food, it is also about awareness. Too often people eat without presence. They sit in front of a screen distracted, or they rush to finish the meal. Eating then becomes mechanical, not mindful. In Shaolin teaching, every act can be meditation, including eating. When you eat slowly, with awareness, the body receives more than nutrients. It receives calm. Digestion improves, sleep deepens, and the spirit rests as well. For seniors who may already face digestive difficulties, this mindful approach is especially important. Eating slowly, choosing lighter meals, and stopping before feeling heavy ensures that the energy is balanced. The stomach is not overworked, the mind is not disturbed, and the body can move naturally into the rhythm of rest. Let us consider the greater meaning of balance. Balance is not a rigid line but a living dance. Just as the seasons shift, balance shifts too. Some nights the body may feel hungrier, then a little more food is right. Other nights, less is needed, then simplicity is best. Listening to the body rather than imposing rigid rules is the highest form of wisdom. The body speaks quietly, and when you learn to hear its voice, you will always know how much is enough. The elder who learns balance of energy not only strengthens the muscles but also strengthens independence. Because energy in balance means fewer sudden drops of weakness, fewer dizzy spells, fewer restless nights. It means walking with steadiness, rising from a chair with ease, sleeping deeply and waking refreshed. It means carrying the dignity of being in harmony with one's own body. In martial practice, the master does not strike with all force at once. He conserves, he directs, he balances. Too much force wasted leads to exhaustion. Too little force leads to defeat. Victory lies in balance. The same principle guides the elder's nourishment. Too much food wastes energy. Too little food wastes the body. Balance preserves life. So, the teaching is clear. Eat before bed, but eat with wisdom. Feed the flame, but do not smother it. Give the body what it needs to repair, but do not burden it with excess. Seek the middle path, the path of balance, and you will find that even in the later years, strength does not vanish so quickly. In Shaolin, there's a phrase, harmony is the foundation of longevity. Balance of energy is this harmony. It is the practice of respecting the body, neither denying its needs nor overwhelming it. And when balance is achieved, the night becomes a time not of struggle, but of quiet healing. The elder wakes not as someone diminished by age, but as someone renewed by wisdom. In life, the measure of years is not the only measure of living. To count birthdays is simple, but to live each day with vitality, with dignity, with the freedom to move and act, that is the true meaning of longevity. For the elder, the question is not only how long to live, but how well. And at the center of this truth lies one force, strength. Strength does not only mean the power to lift heavy objects or perform great feats. Strength means the ability to rise from a chair without help, to climb stairs without fear, to carry one's own groceries, to walk freely in the sunlight without worry of falling. This strength is the foundation of independence, and when independence is preserved, life retains its dignity. But strength is also fragile. With age, the body naturally tends to weaken, muscles shrink, bones lose density, balance becomes less steady. This is not a sudden change, but a slow erosion. It is like a mountain slope that crumbles over years, not in one day. If nothing is done, the slope becomes too steep, and eventually collapse follows. For seniors, this collapse shows itself in frailty, in the loss of freedom, in dependence on others. Yet there is hope, because strength, even when challenged by age, can be preserved and even rebuilt. The secret lies in small, consistent actions. Nourishing the body with the right foods, moving daily, resting well, these are the practices that slow decline and turn weakness into resilience. It is not the force of use, but the wisdom of maintenance. Imagine two rivers. One is strong and fast in its use, carving valleys and moving stones. But as years pass, it becomes slower, shallower. If no care is given, it dries into silence. The other river, though also aging, is guided. Its banks are protected, its flow supported by careful channels. Even in its later years, it continues to nourish the land around it. This second river is the symbol of longevity through strength. Why is strength so deeply tied to longevity? Because weakness invites illness. When muscles are lost, balance is lost. When balance is lost, falls occur. When falls occur, bones break, recovery slows, and the spirit suffers. But when strength is maintained, the body resists illness, the immune system stays active, and the spirit remains confident. Strength protects life, just as strong walls protect a temple from wind and rain. Strength also shapes the mind. A weak body often leads to a weak spirit, not because the mind itself is old, but because frustration grows. The elder who cannot stand without support begins to doubt, to fear, to retreat from life. But the elder who maintains strength through practice and nourishment carries confidence. Each step is a statement. I am still here, I am still capable. This confidence feeds the mind, which in turn strengthens the body. The path to longevity through strength is not complicated. It does not require endless effort or impossible routines. It requires attention, discipline, and small wise choices repeated daily. To eat protein before bed is one such choice. To walk each day, even for a short time, is another. To stretch the body gently, to breathe deeply, to rest well. All these become the bricks in the foundation of lasting strength. Let us also remember that longevity is not only about the body, it is about the harmony of body, mind, and spirit. When the body is strong, the mind feels free. When the mind is calm, the spirit shines. And when the spirit shines, life, no matter the number of years, is lived fully. Strength is the thread that ties these together. Without it, the fabric unravels. With it, the fabric endures. In martial practice, masters often say, do not chase immortality, chase vitality. Immortality is a dream. Vitality is a dream. Vitality is a choice. And vitality comes from strength. The elder who practices balance, who nourishes wisely, who moves daily, may not live forever, but will live deeply, richly, with clarity and freedom. That is true longevity. Consider a bamboo tree. It bends in the storm, yet does not break. Its strength is not rigid, it is flexible, living, and balanced. The elder who learns this lesson does not cling to the strength of youth, which is forceful and explosive. Instead, they cultivate the strength of bamboo, enduring, adaptable, quietly powerful. This is the strength that brings longevity. So, what is the teaching? It is this: do not surrender to weakness as if it were destiny. Weakness may come, but strength can remain if you choose to protect it. Longevity is not given. It is earned through daily practice of care. Every nourishing meal, every mindful step, every breath of calm, every night of repair. These are the offerings you give to your body, and your body in return gives you more years of freedom, more days of dignity, more moments of joy. At Shaolin, there's a phrase, to live long, live rightly. Living rightly does not mean living perfectly. It means living in awareness, in balance, in care for the body and spirit. It means valuing strength, not as vanity, but as the guardian of independence. For seniors, longevity through strength is the promise that the later years are not a decline into helplessness, but a season of wisdom lived with vitality. It is the assurance that even as time moves, the flame within can still burn brightly, not because it refuses to age, but because it is constantly nourished. In the end, longevity through strength is not about resisting the flow of time. It is about flowing with time, but with dignity, with steadiness, and with the quiet power that says, "My body may grow older, but my spirit walks strong."